Do you believe in life after IGN Live? There's No Ghost at the Grand is an upcoming mystery adventure game that puts a ghoul-sucking vacuum into your hands, a ripping ska soundtrack in your ears, and a passion for hotel renovation in your heart. Here to tell us more are some of the devs from Friday Sunday, Anil Glendinning, Chi Chii Huang, and Jack Conrad. Give them a warm welcome, everybody, huh? Welcome to IGN Live, everyone. Now, you've just revealed the game. Please tell us what brings us to the Grand, where there are definitely no ghosts.
There are definitely no ghosts at the Grand. Let me just assure everyone of that. Yeah. You play as a young American man, just an ordinary guy who inherits a definitely not haunted hotel deep in the English countryside. But when you get there, you discover there is definitely something lurking under the surface.
Now, it has some sort of, there's a lot of, this character, this American, is inheriting this from maybe a family member. We know that there's not a ton you can tell us about the story yet, but can you tease a little bit about what makes this American sort of special and why he's here in the first place?
Under the surface, you get to decorate the house by day, and you have a variety of crazy power tools who talk to you. But you can't decorate at nighttime, because at nighttime, it's an entirely different vibe. Then, at night, there are other guests who haven't yet left the hotel, and a talking cat.
Now, this talking cat, I need to get into, because this talking cat's name is so good. First of all, There's No Ghost at the Grand is an excellent name. As soon as we heard this game was coming to IGN Live, I was like, what an incredibly perfect name for a video game. So, speaking of absolutely perfect names, Mr. Bones the Bastard is this cat's name. Can you tell us a little bit about Mr. Bones?
So, Mr. Bones the Bastard is a mysterious, ambivalent being who doesn't give a crap about you. So an ordinary cat, basically.
Pretty much.
But at nighttime, he talks, and he introduces himself as Mr. Bones the Bastard, and he says that you, the player character, was the one who named him that. But you don't know why. What is your history with this mysterious cat? What is the past? And can you trust him? Is he friend or foe? That's part of the mystery of the game.
I love that. You're also going to be wielding a multifunctional tool that sort of evokes, when we think about haunted hotels and vacuums, Luigi's Mansion comes into mind a little bit. Is there any, sort of influence from that game? Is it kind of a darker version in some ways? Is it inspired?
Not so much, yeah. I mean, what we really wanted to do was create a game that was fun and engaging and cross that line between cozy and spooky. So Luigi's Mansion was definitely an inspiration, but really we've been inspired by the vibes and the music that we were listening to, And so all of that is kind of embedded. But because we're from England, you can't walk 5 meters without tripping over a ghost story or a building that's 500 years old. And so we took all of those vibes and we put them into the game.
That's great. And yeah, you mentioned this ska soundtrack that the game has. You're going to be meeting some characters around the town, and there's a bit of a musical element to the game. Can you tease what that is a little bit?
You want us to tease the characters?
No, tease the musical element of the game.
Jack, you want to tell us about the music?
The game is a musical, but we're not going to make you sit through British Les Mis. We use the music to introduce the characters. Each character has an own genre that's unique to them. So as you meet them, we jump from reggae to ska to punk, depending on who's talking. But if you want to skip them, it's all original music, but we won't be offended. We'll probably add an achievement for anyone stubborn enough to skip all of them. But we think it's really fun. They're really catchy. Each song section has its own unique gameplay element to it. The player can duet either by choosing a verse or duetting with his trumpet. I just think so. Really unique and interesting ways to introduce characters that we'll know you'll get to love.
Yeah, so it's not a traditional musical. It's more like, finding this dusty old album in your dad's record collection full of British ska and reggae and punk sounds from the 1980s. And that's the vibe we've tried to capture for There Are No Ghosts at the Grand.
Yeah, there's so many things that it looks like we're going to be uncovering as we explore this town and this hotel. It's so cool. Now, I'm seeing some gameplay from the game on screen here. Very cool. Can you tell me a little bit about that little guy in the corner there of that gun, that guy with the mustache? What's his deal?
Yeah, Chi Chii, you want to tell us a little bit about the little character we have on the gun?
Well, he is the reason why your power tools are talking. That's Robert C. McBrushy. He, throughout
Wait,
the
one
morning,
more time on that name.
Robert C. McBrushy.
That is incredible. Okay, so we've got Mr. Bones the Bastard, an incredible There's No Ghost at the grand title, and that name for that. Oh my gosh, you guys are excellent at making names. Okay, but please continue.
But yeah, during the day, he helps you decorate and renovate on top of the power tools. And then by night, something weird happens.
That's
He's like an expert in supernatural as well as carpentry, upholstery, and, all things DIY.
So he's part of the mystery. You're not the first owner of these guns, and you're not the first person he's known. So as you go through exploring the Grand, he becomes your guide, introducing all the different gameplay elements that we have and unveiling the deeper mystery of the game.
He seems like he has a heck of a personality. Now, another thing about this game that I'm very interested in is some of these cinematic influences that might be here as well. Is there anything really playing on There's No Ghost at the Grand from that aspect?
Well, in terms of inspiration from cinema.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we really love the kind of the slow burn, creepy type of ghost stories. We love when you enter into a story with just an innocuous quest. You're just here to decorate the hotel. That's it. There's nothing else. But very quickly, things begin to unravel. What turns out to be a simple quest becomes something much more complicated and much more creepy. So we really want to keep players on their toes, which is why we have a title like There Are No Ghosts of the Grand. Are we lying to you? Is it all in the player's head? Who knows?
We're going to have to find out. But again, there are no ghosts at the Grand.
There are
We
absolutely
have
no
to
ghosts at the
remind
Grand.
you.
Absolutely not.
No ghosts at the Grand. We have to remind you guys of that. You mentioned something that I want to dive into a little bit, which is this sort of crossroads of coziness and horror mystery. How do you mix those two things from a visual standpoint?
You know what? We get asked this question a lot, and I always say the same answer to people. If you've ever moved into a new apartment or a new house, you start off and it's cozy. You're decorating, you're putting out all of your stuff, and then night falls. And all of a sudden, what was cozy is suddenly creepy. You've got to go down a strange corridor, go to a strange bathroom, sleep in a strange bed. Sometimes you're there by yourself. And it's that feeling of being alone in a strange building, the kind of terror from the mundane, the presence of absence, is where we combine the coziness and the horror aspects, the creepy aspects of the game. I think when people play it, they're going to find some of these feelings familiar and identifiable.
Even just that phrase, the presence of absence, that does kind of give you, as the cat apparates into view right here, right behind me. Hi, Mr. Bones. Now, obviously, there looks to be a lot going on in this village. Can you talk a little bit about what else we're going to be doing, maybe outside of the hotel in the game?
So outside the hotel, this is a ghost story game set in a haunted hotel that you can leave at any time, day or night, and explore the surrounding village of Kingswood-on-Sea. You want to tell us a little bit about the town?
On Kingswood-on-Sea, the hotel has a moped, a nice yellow moped. You want to renovate that, you can take Mr. Bones out in the basket and explore the town. And same goes for the fishing boat. Once that's renovated, you can take it out with some friends, with some locals, and explore the boat together. And also, on the boat, you can...
I mean, the town itself has loads of secrets, so on the boat, if you go out to sea, you can dredge for treasure or secrets that sort of contribute to the greater mystery. And same as the town itself. So as you go around, you're not just renovating the hotel, you're renovating some of the buildings in the town as well.
Getting to make it all yours and sort of feel both the creepiness of that and also the hominess is very exciting. Anil, I just want to ask you one last thing here. Obviously, you run Friday, Sunday with your spouse. What is it like developing games with your spouse?
Sorry, say that again?
I was told that you run Friday, Sunday with your spouse. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So Friday, Sunday, you guys did interview the right person. So Friday, Sunday is a new studio. My wife and myself, we started it up and we searched all of Britain for the newest, freshest talent who wanted to make a video game. And we found this small indie team that we brought together and we created Friday, Sunday. No Ghosts of the Grand is our first game. It's our debut game. And we really want to be able to connect with gamers by bringing some of our own stories, our own experiences, which is why that idea of moving into a flat or an apartment by yourself for the very first time is something which I think resonates with people. Our PR company laughed when we said it's a ghost story with Lovecraftian monsters based on a true story. And what it is it's the vibes, it's the feelings that are based on a true story. And I think that's what makes a really effective ghost story. So that's what Friday Sunday is all about, and that's what No Ghost of the Grand is all about too.
Well, we can't wait to play it. Thank you all so much for coming in. There's No Ghost at the Grand is coming to Xbox and Game Pass in 2026, and we cannot wait for it. There's a lot more IGN Live ahead, so do not go anywhere.